Welcome back to another episode of Ultimate Alchemy, and behind me you can see the result of what I've done off camera, and let's go and take a look. What we've got over here is a much more compacted version of what you saw last episode. You may not have seen my comment in last episode, and if you didn't, I'll explain. Essentially, these mechanical crafters can auto-pull from any adjacent inventory, anything at all. They cannot, however, push stuff out of them, so you need something else to draw them out. So wherever you need to insert into a furnace or into a drawer, you'll need something like a hopper or later replacements, obviously, that are better than hoppers. However, if you need to pull from another inventory, like say if you want wood into this, then you just need to put the wood next to it in a container of some kind. And also this is another recipe for sticks, by the way, just 2 oak wood, gets you 16 sticks directly. That's also, it's more sticks, and you also get essentially one shorter stack of these mechanical crafters. So as you see going along, I've moved a few things around. Mainly that means that in a couple of cases, these barrels can be shared between 2 machines. Like for example, this one uses cobblestone and so does this one. So you can put it between the 2 here, but that's not always the case. And in different cases, you want them in different places. On the left here, I've got just a straightforward furnace setup. Put my stuff in the top. It goes into the furnace and goes into the bottom. We are actually going to go a little bit further with that. I want a mechanical user, I think. Mechanical user. And let's see. We need a resonating redstone crystal. That's going to need a mill of some kind. Oh no, actually, no. We can make that. We can make that out of ender shards and redstone, which we already have now. So ender shards down here. Actually, let's get a full stack of them. And let's get some redstone. Let's go over here and let's make those. So there we go. 8. And we need a dropper, which needs some redstone and some cobblestone. Just need some cobblestone for that. There we go. Let's just get one of these for now up and running. I don't think I need anything else. There we go. One mechanical user. I'm going to want a block just to place this down somewhere. And what I actually want is to, if I put it something like here, is just to put that there. Whoops. And then we can use our mechanical user with a acceleration wand. So if I change this over. Yep, same as the stone block series, the acceleration wand, except in this one, it's not disabled. So we can put it in a mechanical user. And we want top left slot only. And let's see, is that actually... It's probably the generic click type. Use item on block. Right click, or is it left click? Looks like it's not. Ooh, actually, 45, 46. That is actually going pretty fast, I think. Right click on block to speed up ticks. Yes, so that's actually working. So that should be going. Yeah, it is going. You can see the arrow jumping forwards. So that's a way to get a fast burning setup. And then I'd like to give the next one full credit to a guy called Will-X. He's another YouTuber, and he did remind me of something. I was looking for, because this is all, this whole Temers mod pack, I was using for extra utilities for everything. And I'm used for it with extra utilities, used to pipes, these things, transfer pipes, okay? Now, I wanted to get filtering pipes. Not filtering pipes, so they're rationing pipes. But it's not there anymore, and neither is hyper rationing. Unless I'm misremembering, I could be misremembering, but it's not there anymore. However, there is a simple and straightforward trick to do in that early game. When by rationing, I mean only supply 1 item. So, for example, with pickaxes, if 1 item is around, it can't stack with any more. So, by rationing it to 1 item, you're making sure that only 1 pickaxe is entering things or available to things and stuff like that. So, instead, you can make mini chests. Put a chest in crafting grid, you get mini chests, and they can only hold 1 item. So around the back here, I've got mini chests. Put them next to the crafter that needs things like an iron pickaxe, And you never get any problem with jams because things aren't being directly inserted into the crafter. It's pulling from an inventory. So it works really, really well. And you'll see I've got a network of filter pipes going to all these little mini chests everywhere. I did have them on the drawers in the front, and I was placing them manually. I thought, nope, we've got to replace that. So we've got all these transfer pipes. Transfer pipes are really, really easy to craft, being just stone and redstone and glass. And then we can make transfer nodes. And then again, that's just redstone and chest, etc. And you place them on the back. Now here I've got this single drawer. You can see it underneath there. It contains 32 axes. And then we've got the setup I made previously in the last episode. But here it's just making axes straight and putting them straight into that drawer. So there's a furnace for our... In fact, no, that's a furnace for... where are we now? Yes, no, that is working. It's just basically cooking that up into iron, which is going forwards into this crafter, which is then making the iron pickaxe, then going down and going back around and into here where the pickaxes are stored. Main problem here is though that that's coming out of a furnace, and so I don't have it in a separate inventory that this crafter can pull from, so eventually it may end up jamming because I'm filling it full of iron ingots. If it does, that's no problem. I can just rework it to basically dump the iron into a drawer, and then we'll draw from the drawer just by moving everything at one, but that won't be much of an issue. We've got plenty of pickaxes. So that means that down here we've got all of this different stuff, including glowstone at the end. That's making torches, and torches are being crafted up from, you know, sticks, from that recipe I showed you, down into here. So we've got, what I said last episode is tin, 2048, because I haven't upgraded these. These are just stuffed full at the moment. So I need to make some upgrades. But the best one we can get, I think, is probably the Obsidian upgrade or the gold upgrade. Well, Obsidian voids it, I think, if you put that in. But the gold one, certainly. And we need to get to gold. So today's task is to take tin and glowstone. And that's why I've got this little furnace set up here, making us seared brick. Of course, what seared brick gives us, but Tinker's Construct. So I'm going to put down a simple smeltery somewhere. Probably going to extend that side for the smeltery or something like that. And we'll come back once I've got a simple one set up. You've seen me do Tinker's Smelteries before, I'm sure, so I'm not going to do that on camera. Ooh, just before I do, though, craft that smeltery up, there is one other thing I wanted to cover. Haven't used these before because it's been a really long time since I did not Tinker's Construct, Extra Utilities. But in Extra Utilities, there is essentially a new kind, well, new to me, not probably to you, a new kind of transfer node, and it's a flat transfer node. There they are. They didn't exist, I don't think, last time I actually tried it. So, yeah, we can craft those with an anvil and a regular transfer node. And I'm just going to make 16 of them. Oh, in fact, actually, we didn't need more than one anvil. I thought that would be used up. Never mind. So, yeah, thinner than the thinnest of pancakes, small enough to fit between blocks, and hold left control and placing to reverse push-pull. Okay, so if we had two blocks already close together, I assume that's what we'd do there. So, in fact, here we can probably do this. Just as a demonstration, let's just take that grout out of there. And let's take you as well. And if this is placing it down this way, normally transfer nodes extract, so let's control and let's assume it's going to insert. That hopefully will be fine. Let's put our, let's put our crate back. Where did my crate go? Where did my crate go? I seem to get what? What went on there? I got 31 transfer nodes and no crate. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, put that down. Let's put our put you in. That's working as expected. So because you held down left control, it's now going to pull from there going in. And if I didn't do that, it would pull going that way. But we're not going to be wanting to do that. So that it will contract things even more. And for instance, we could move this crate underneath and then get that need for hoppers as long as we wanted to go straight up and down, etc., or you know, just in one direction. So a lot of these can be contracted even further. I'm not going to bother too much because we're going to reassemble these anyway at some point, because we're going to go to a draw controller system rather than these individual lines. And by the way, pretty much most of these lines, each one of these is to each box, so they're not really crossing over all that much apart from the original resources and the infinite barrels. So yeah, you can imagine it's quite compactable and quite easy. Anyway, on with the smeltery. All right, one smeltery, 5x5 interior, and like 5 blocks tall. Yeah, 5 blocks tall. So yeah, pretty good. And of course, all this ingredients are free because I have gravel and sand, and that's all it takes to make grout in this pack. Because clay, well, that's the ultimate goal. So we've got a smeltery. It's online. We don't have any lava yet, but just before that, I just wanted to set up our containers to get stuff out of the smeltery. So we're going to basically decant into something here. So let's just put 4 crates down. And again, we're going to use these flat transfer nodes just to compact everything. So again, we're going to want left control. There we go. If I right control, yeah, there we go. Yep. So we can tell the difference. If I don't hold it down, at least you can tell the difference, so we know which way we're going. And then we'll just put down a couple of casting tables. That really is a bug. Anyway, my crafting tables will just disappear until I go out of my inventory back again. So we'll put a couple of casting tables, a couple of casting basins, and we're pretty much ready. The controller can stay there for the moment. In fact, hang on, I think I want to go... Let me just not obstruct the view at all. And if I just go and make another crate... need some sticks. So let's just make a wood casing. Well, let's just make a couple. And I'm just going to be short a few planks, but those are straightforward. There we go. And I think I'll combine this as the input to our controller. Now we could, well, we can't really use a hopper. We could use a transfer node, but we have translocators by default. So in this particular case, can we just shift right click and the same. And then I can never remember which way it is. Let's try this. Nope, other way. Yeah, so that should feed anything from this crate into our controller. We're then going to want to be able to make lava. And lava, which we need there for the fuel, well, that's a whole other subject. We can't just... I mean, you'd think it's a sky block, so you'd think, oh, you just get a crucible and heat it up with a torch. No, that's not going to happen. We can make a magma crucible once we get gold, but we need the smeltery to get gold, so we need to do another approach. Other approach is not that difficult, but it is a little bit odd if you're expecting to be able to make a lava bucket. Lava itself, again, there's lots of different ways to make it, but again, you're going to want machines to do that, or machines to do it basically. But to get a lava bucket, on the other hand, you need a bucket of lava ingredients, and that's something that's a lot easier. You need a bucket, you need some obsidian, and you need some charcoal, and we can get all of those. Obsidian is a similar process to all of these. The only difference is what we need to actually do to make it, which we go through here is double compressed cobblestone. Fine, so why don't we just make the ingredients back here, and later we'll think about how we're going to feed them in automatically. Let's just feed them in manually for now, but we're going to make the ingredients automatically. So we want 3 things then. We want buckets, which are going to be quite simple. We're going to want obsidian, and we're going to want charcoal. And we're going to want to feed stuff into them. So now we're using these flat transfer pipes. It's really going to be quite handy. The first one is buckets, and since they come out of a crafter, we can just feed them directly in. Obsidian is going to come out of a furnace, so yeah, I guess we can feed that in as well. And the same thing with charcoal. That's going to come out of a furnace as well. Good. So if we get a couple of furnaces, oh, that bug. That's going to be so So weird. There we go. A couple of furnaces. And just to make sure that starts filling, there we go for some charcoal. And here we want double compressed cobblestone. So we're going to go with something else on top here as well. We're going to go with a crafter on top here. You might think you can get away with just... whoops, I need press left control for that, not the other... Oh, that's annoying. There we go. I'm going to stand up here. I don't want to hit that one accidentally. There we go. You might think... Really? If anyone knows how to solve that problem, or knows why it's happening, do let me know. Yep, no idea. Anyway, we need to get some stuff into here. What I was thinking of doing is using a compacting drawer. However, and that will store the cobblestone, the single compressed and the double compressed. However, I don't have a filter for this yet, and filters need string, and we can't make string yet. So I'm just going to do one level, and then use a crafter to compact the next level. So one crafter, one compacting drawer, and then we want to again pull with this. I may have to stand on it. And then a source of infinite cobble. Yeah, when I get the inventory problem sorted out. There we go. Right, so there we are. We can get anything we want from this. So we're just going to take some compressed. Yep. And we are going to tell it to make double compressed, which is going to head down into the output inventory, which is going to get smelted. And then we're just going to need to insert some, and we can probably do this on the back, again with our really buggy flat transfer nodes. We're going to pull from a wood barrel. Yeah, see what I mean about buggy? Let's try and pull from a wood barrel. That's filling. This one isn't. Why aren't you filling? You can't pull compressed cobblestone from this? You should be able to. How very odd. Okay, then we can just, I guess, replace this with the more traditional approach. We just put another... Let's do that. We just put another machine on top. Just as straightforward, just thought we might want to use a different approach. And there we go. And of course, we don't need any transfer nodes for any of this. There we go, we've got some compressed. Next one down, is already set up. So that's going to, should start pulling in compressed to make double compressed. There it goes. And double compressed will go in here and make obsidian. We should be making charcoal here, but this is again fairly straightforward to actually feed. We just need one from the back. We could use a translocator there actually. They're not all that, I don't think they're all that expensive to make. How expensive are translocators? Yeah, we can make all of that. So I'm not too concerned about using them up. I was a bit concerned about using them up to start off with, but let's not worry about that. And we can feed furnaces. Whoops. There we go. Blah. It's a full-on rainbow kind of thing with translocators, even without using glowstone on them. So that's going to make that, and then we want to just feed directly into the top of that. And again, let's use our buggy stuff. There we go. And let's go through the bugginess. There we go. Yep, and that's filling. So we've got 2 of the 3 ingredients. And this one we want to make buckets. And buckets are really quite simple. Pop that down, and we just need a source of iron. Not even sure whether we're going to do too much here. We can just get away with manual iron for now, so I'm just going to grab that. And let's just put a chest or something on top. Tell it to make buckets. And clear that out. And we have everything we need. So these 3 ingredients here, we have everything we need for the lava ingredients. We then need to smelt those things and put them in here. So smelting is quite simple. And we also want another smelting setup. So why don't I just put a smelter here? It's a shame. I was thinking about using another translocator. Let me set up a smelter the same way as I've got over there, except we don't need to worry too much about the advanced speed. This is just going to make lava buckets. And here we are. I rearranged things a little bit and compacted them. So hopefully you'll be able to follow along. Not very, very complicated, but so we've staggered this obsidian forwards one. And we've got buckets on the left. That's just being manually fed by iron at the moment, but that's easy enough to replace with the same setup we've got over there. On the right, we've got our charcoal, infinite, and the same thing with obsidian. Now, that means that I can put a crafter in between all 3 of those, which will auto pull. So it'll auto pull each of those things and output buckets of lava ingredients, which we then get a transfer node. Ignore that because it doesn't really matter. That's an infinite wood source, and that's an infinite wood source for any of these around here that actually need wood. Actually, that's feeding the oak wood on that side. And is actually feeding anything in there? Yes, it's feeding a furnace there. We don't need it on this side, so it's just those 2 sides, but ignore it anyway. And it's just going to come up here into the top and feed through the furnace. Now, of course, it's not terribly fast at the moment, but it doesn't need to be terribly fast. We've already got 7 buckets of lava, so, you know, what are you going to do? Free lava. Let's just get rid of some stuff. They're slightly really kind of buggy, but I do like the fact that I'm willing to live with them just because of the fact that they let me compact things without hoppers, and I'm very, very happy with them. So let's just get 4 buckets, and that should fill up our sear tank. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what we should be able to do, of course, is recycle these. So if we get a system that will automatically use these up, we can put them back in there and they'll get reused. So we shouldn't ever need any more than our starting iron for, you know, the buckets, which is why I haven't really bothered going with an infinite source of buckets. We could just throw them away, I suppose. It just reminds me of the Simpsons episode when they use a lathe to spin down logs into single bowling pins at the bowling alley and then throw them away after one strike. I like that episode. One of the very early ones. And anyway, we've got lava, which means we now should be able to have gold. And that means, let's have a look, gold. Gold, ingots, doesn't really much matter where it is. We're looking for the smeltery casting, molten gold. Alloy, so 125 glowstone slush versus 72 molten tin. And how much does an ingot give us? So that's 2 tin ingots and glowstone slush. And half a glowstone dust. So is it 4 tin, 1 glowstone? Well, let's give this a go, shall we? Do I have enough space? Yeah. There we go. So let's give this a go and see if I got it correct or not. Tin, and glowstone. For that. Is it actually going to be enough? Oh, there it all goes. And the speed of melting for tin, or at least for tin, is quite high in this pack. In fact, it is for a lot of things. So, yep. I guess we could use another acceleration one to make this even faster, just by right-clicking or left-clicking on. Right-clicking on the controller to make it even faster. But yeah, let's not worry about that too much. It's going to use 100 millibuckets to do this, and it's now alloying down into gold. Good. So if we put gold at the bottom, what we should be able to do is just grab an ingot of something. Doesn't really much matter what. And in fact, let's grab a few. Yeah, so if we don't directly want a cast, hopefully we can still use ingots as casts here. I'm just going to pour out gold in both cases. And that should get used up and we should get a cast. Good. And yep, even though that this is technically made from gold, we can still use it as a cast for some reason. And in it goes, and we should end up with gold. Of course, we can also 6 blocks, so we can also cast out a block in each. And of course, we don't need a hopper. This is going to go straight down into the crates here. So we're probably going to think we're going to want to automate this at some point. Was I right? I was nowhere near right. I just miscalculated, obviously. Fair enough. So let's just stick with another stack of glowstone. And let's figure it out by practice. I love translocators. I love the way they animate. I should use them more often. But I've just never been all that... they've never been a late game thing for me. Let me just see if glowstone... Is it glowstone that increases the speed of these things? I never remember. But let's see what this alloy is up to. And that's probably going to need more glowstone. But yeah, let's see what it's like with the glowstone piece. What are we down to now? 5 blocks? Yeah, I really did miscalculate. And yet, what I said about the ratios was entirely wrong, of course. I just mistook while I was trying to talk and think at the same time. So just take 4 stacks glowstone, 4 stacks of tin. If you can carry 4 stacks of tin. Otherwise, you know, just throw some stuff away. And then, yes, this is the glowstone. This actually just rips things really quickly. So if we just put this in, you'll see it's disappearing instantly. Or at least it is until the capacity of your smeltery, which, yes, it is getting bigger. You're not imagining things, but it is actually processing pretty quickly. And I want to just disable both of these for a second while it alloys up. And as soon as it alloys up, we'll re-enable them. There it goes. It's starting to create gold. And all the rest of the tin is being melted. And, of course, it should all form into just gold with no remainder. So you see we've got 27 blocks here, 26 blocks here, gold for days. And that basically means that we can craft gold upgrades for all our storage drawers. Now, I haven't got a storage controller yet, but that's next up. And, well, we can't really move these. Do we have a cardboard box? If we have a cardboard box, we might be able to move them. No cardboard box. Dolly? Do we have a dolly? No, we have... Okay, I'm going to have to think of a... oh, wait, do we have a moving wand? Moving... Oh, wait a second. Moving wand is empty. That's just ender pearls and 1 core. Wow. Blaze rods. How make blaze... Tema! Why? Oh, sealers draws for moving. Ooh. Paper. Oh. Help. I love challenge packs, I really do. In any case, that's probably bringing us up to time for the episode. We've got fully automated smeltery, pretty much. All we need to do to get from here into this, really, is probably put down a fluid transposer, a magmatic crucible, sorry, not magmatic crucible, a magmatic generator, and then that will create power to create the fluid transposer, which we can feed with buckets that will empty lava both back into the generator, but also into the seared tank. I'll show you this at the start of the next episode. It's nothing special. You've seen it in my other packs before. And that'll just get us started with a little bit of power from, essentially free lava. With this setup, it's a bit more than a normal crucible, but it gets us going. And we get something out of it. We get power to power some other machines from thermal expansion. So I hope you'll join me for that next episode. Otherwise, yeah, hope you're enjoying it. Feel free to like, subscribe, share as you normally would. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.